up, y'all? What's up, y'all? Kyle Hamilton here. I want to give a quick shout out to Lucas, Connor, and Ryan in the Week Zero podcast.
Jackson rolling out, 3rd and 7 after the penalty, and it's a completion to Kuma. He's still running. Kuma breaks free against a tired defense as the Hokies deliver the dagger here in Tallahassee. Empty look for Richardson. Oh, that is danger! Oh my! Keidron Smith cuts inside, and he's gonna pick six it in the swamp. Cat scratch fever Smith.
DJ is picked off, intercepted again by Benjamin Morrison. Here goes Morrison down the sideline. Can he go? Yes, he can. Touchdown, pick six, Benjamin Morrison. Nix drops back underneath. Touchdown, Ducks. Wow. Chase Carter.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. This is kind of a weird one because we don't have Ryan or Connor this week, but I'm your host this week. Lucas, you're welcome, 49er fans. McKnight, I will tell you why in a moment, Josh. And then we also have Josh, old man Mahomes Bryant. Welcome to the Week Zero podcast. Obviously, we don't have the two guys that usually carry us. Josh and I are usually the entertainment. They're the hosts, but it is what it is. We're here now. There's only 3 more football games this season. How does that make you feel, Josh? Like, honestly, 3 more football games.
I'm really happy that just some people would grieve this. Some people would be like, oh, it's not. And like they're really excited for the next games, and then there's that big letdown, right? Because now you got like another 9 months until football again. Man.
Hey, luckily we do have the USFL and we do have the XFL coming this spring or this summer. So we get that.
We do. I get to pick my teams. That's going to be nice.
Yes, I am a St. Louis Battlehawks fan. I was when they when the XFL folded 2 years ago. I just chose St. Louis. So luckily they were one of the teams that they stuck with coming into this season. So still got to rep my St. Louis Battlehawks coming in this year. Hey, starting quarterback AJ McCarron at the St. Louis Battlehawks.
Oh, okay. Hey, that guy's a winner.
He is a winner. And
heck yeah, man.
Hopefully we can get it done.
But getting back to your question, just real quick, I like to look back and think like, man, these two, college football and the NFL have been some really good seasons this year. Really good. Just some of the games that we were able to watch this year, some of the bowl games, insane. I've loved it so far. I'm looking for a strong finish. Other than that, there's going to be that down period where we don't say that word, but
see, and the thing about it too is during the football season, weeks go by quick. Work weeks especially go by real quick because then you hit the weekend and you're like, yes, football. I get football, and you get to look forward to that weekend. Once we don't got it, work weeks go by a lot slower. So it is kind of rough. I will say to point out a part of that excitement, college football seasons, they're usually pretty exciting, especially for actual college football fans and then football fans in general. College football seasons are usually very exciting. Something that we don't get super often, something that I think we got a lot of this year, is an exciting NFL season. And a lot of years we kind of know who's gonna kind of run the pack, and obviously we're getting a repeat of the Chiefs and Bengals. but they had such a different way of getting to this point. And then obviously the Niners are back in the NFC title, but such a different way of getting to this point. The Eagles are, a powerhouse now. So I just think it's really cool that the NFL actually had a great season. And, this is even coming from two people that didn't get to watch our team in the playoffs. So
yeah,
I
and just
it's exciting.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And just touching on that, do you think that this season is a sign of more seasons to come? Are we seeing kind of a changing of the guard a little bit with all this new talent coming in and all these they're still great players, but you can tell that they're kind of at the end of their careers. Just this changing of the guard and how the game's changing with it. I think it's really, really something, and it's really entertaining, even if we don't like all of the penalties.
Yeah, the penalties are tough, but it's right now we're seeing a transition that we saw in the early 2000s. Where we were seeing these brand new quarterbacks come in. You got Peyton, you got Tom, you got Eli, you got Ben Roethlisberger. You got these guys that are like coming up, and now they're taking over for the Bledsoes, and you got Rodgers taking over for the Favres. You got them taking over for these guys, and now we're seeing that a lot more now. Hurts taking over the Eagles. You got Pat Mahomes, who's still a young gun. I think the oldest quarterback in the playoffs this year, other than Tom Brady, was like 29, and it was Dak.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, that's pretty incredible because, I feel like back in the day, it was all these, 30-year-olds, 35-plus-year-olds that are as quarterbacks
and that's
in the playoffs, and they were the ones winning the games, and now it's all these young guns.
Mm-hmm. And that kind of plays into my name, actually, because in these playoffs, Mahomes is the old man.
Yep.
He really is. He's been there longer, and you could say he's been there more, but that didn't matter last year.
Yeah, I think he was the oldest. I think he was the oldest AFC quarterback at 27 years old. He was the oldest AFC quarterback in the playoffs.
And that's insane to think about.
That is, and not only that, but what he has done, and he's not even 30. Like what he has done, he is like to a lot of people already like, oh, put that man in the Hall. Like they already have his bust made at Canton. They have it made ready for him, and this guy's still in a 10-year contract.
Yeah, and well, if he continues to play the way he's playing at such a high level, and if he has the longevity, he's gonna be one of the greatest of all time.
Oh, for sure. I agree.
I agree.
He gets hurt a lot. I will say he gets hurt a lot. But I definitely agree. That'll take us into our first topic here. Tua Tagovailoa still in concussion protocol. They just said it today. It's been over a month since he originally was in concussion protocol, and he's still in it. Does this guy need to retire? Is it time? Does he need to get a coaching job? What does he need to do?
Well, in having this long of a protocol, it could be. I think it's a combination of a couple things, right? So they're definitely being more cautious with the hits he's taken, because when you said initially, that's not the first time this season that he's been in concussion protocol.
Mm-hmm.
So this is his second concussion in the season. Multiple concussions close together can really damage your brain and its functioning. I don't need to tell anybody else that. I'm pretty sure everybody knows. You just don't.
And you.
Have you ever had a concussion?
Yeah, I have. I mean, many. Brett Favre spoke about it recently where he said he probably had millions because a concussion to some people is like, oh, you got knocked out or you're stumbling. No, that's
It's just a
a
bruise.
severe
Yeah.
concussion. Whereas like regular concussions, I mean, they're just your head rocking basically. If you ever feel like dizzy or something like that after taking a hit in football and you're like you shake it off and you're okay, that's a concussion. So yeah,
Mhm.
I mean, I'm sure I've had plenty, never as bad as Tua, but if you look at it like from the standpoint of like the UFC, these guys obviously have thousands of concussions. They get their heads bounced off of the canvas every night basically.
Mhm.
They give a period of, I believe, a minimum of it's like 8 months, or no, it's like 4 months or something like that, where you can't train. And that's just training. You have to have like a
Mhm.
certain amount of time where you can't train because like after you get knocked out, there's a certain amount of time. And Kamaru Usman, one of the former champions in the UFC, he was talking about it, and he was like, it sucked because by month and a half, you feel fine. And you're like, oh, I want to get back out there and I want to train and I want to do all this stuff.
And
But it's like, nope, you cannot, because if you get hit again, you're going to be messed up. So,
oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. And so why Tua is still in this protocol is because they're taking it extremely seriously. Which good on the NFL for doing this, but um, that first concussion he had this season I believe they messed up because they
yeah,
had him back
way too
the
soon.
next week and he got hit again.
Yeah. And what I thought
I
was
just
crazy too
you
is
know
they were talking about him playing in the playoff game. And there was a big talk about him playing in the playoff game. And then obviously, they came out and said, he's not going to play. He's not ready. If they would have had a change of heart or some sort of different thoughts on Tua and played him in that game, obviously hindsight is 2020, but he's still in protocol and we're in the we're in the championship games. Like it's crazy to me. That kind of leads us into our next topic. The best NFL scripts to look forward to. Obviously, some of them not to look forward to because, a lot of people are saying that Damar Hamlin and all that stuff, it was all scripted and stuff. Obviously, I'm not that much of a conspiracy theorist, but there's a lot of people talking about these, NFL being scripted, all these things. And looking at these two games that are happening now, what could you see, say the NFL is scripted, what could you see playing out from these two games to make for a story in the Super Bowl?
Okay, so I could definitely see I could definitely see San Francisco having a lackluster performance, kind of like they did last game, and
Just to
just
boost
not
the
getting it
Eagles.
done. Yeah. Just to kind of boost the Eagles up, so that they can get back to the championship again. Because I mean, I don't know about you, but that was one of my favorite Super Bowls.
Oh yeah, one of the best ever for sure.
Absolutely, Philly special, baby. And then on the AFC side, you have Cincinnati going to Arrowhead to face Kansas City, and I don't know heads or tails on that one. And this is and just to be like clear on this, we're not talking about what's going to happen. We're not talking about this is under the premise what would be a good story, right?
This is, what would be a good story? What would be for somebody, say you're a writer at ESPN and you're like, oh, dude, I'm hopping on this. This is awesome. Like, I'm going to write a 4-page article about this because this is great. Like, if you had some random teams play against each other.
Yeah. Okay, so does does Cincinnati get the nod and they get to go win a Super Bowl?
So I think of a handful. So, like, for example, for me, Kansas City taking on Philadelphia. You got Andy Reid against his former team that he went to a Super Bowl with as the head coach and coached for 15 years, I believe he coached for Philadelphia. There's a storyline right there alone. You got, if San Francisco plays Cincinnati, you got the rematch between, obviously between the Niners and the Bengals in the Super Bowl, because they played back in the 90s with Joe Montana and Boomer Esiason. And obviously Joe Montana and the Niners came out victorious. You look at, and then you look at like the Bengals and Eagles. Maybe you could make a story out of it, like Hurts versus Burrow, some rematch between them. Hurts trying to get some payback after getting destroyed in the 2019 playoffs, in the 2019 college football playoffs. Like stories like this. I mean, the Chiefs, and then it writes itself too, because like the Chiefs and the 49ers, they were in the 2019 Super Bowl and the Chiefs ended up victorious. So like all these different scripts, and then going into the next season, for me, it's like, where does Tom Brady go? Does he come back to play with does he go to play in Las Vegas and bring Gronk back with Mike McDaniels? I don't know. I mean, a lot of people are speculating it just to cause. I mean, the NFL script writers, man.
If it happened to any fan base, of course it would be the Raiders.
It would be the Raiders.
Of course, they'd be so hyped, and then it'd just be such a letdown.
And see, it's funny. It's funny that you say that too, because like I've been thinking about it a lot with the Tom Brady stuff. Obviously, Tennessee is in the market for a quarterback. A lot of people are like, no, we don't want Brady. We don't want Brady. It's like, dude, people were saying that 4 years ago or 3 years ago, and he went and won a Super Bowl his first year.
I'm afraid that they might mean it this time, Lucas.
Yeah, but I can't until I see it, because he still went to the playoffs. Yeah, they were 8-9. Yeah, they had a losing record, but they won their division. And they went to the playoffs. One of the worst offensive coordinators, I think, last season.
They won the worst, one of the worst divisions in the NFL.
Yes, for sure. I'll give you that, but I mean, playoff getting to the playoff games, I think they were probably. I don't even know if they were the best team in that division. Honestly, I think the Saints were probably the best overall team in the division.
Yeah, they were
just to get them there.
But when are they gonna fix that?
I don't know.
It's almost 2 seasons now.
For the Saints?
Yeah, has it been longer?
Since they've had Drew Brees? Or what?
Well,
quarterbacks?
No, because I'm trying to think. Their quarterback situation got real bad, 2019? When did Brees retire?
Yeah, Brees retired in I think his last season was 2018.
Yeah, and then they had
yes.
Nope.
So his last season was 2018, because that was the year that the Patriots beat the Rams in the Super Bowl. Yes. So, and that was the year that the Rams beat the Saints on that terrible non-pass interference call. And so, yeah, that was Drew Brees last year. So it's been 19, 20, 21, 22. So 4 seasons since they have had a good quarterback. And they keep trying Jameis Winston. That's just never going to work.
Keep trying. Is that maybe he's going to be better this season? Oh, and he's hurt again.
Nope. And he's hurt. And towards ACL. And towards the rotator cuff. All right, moving into our next topic. Speaking of quarterbacks, Brock Purdy. Who would have thunk it? Brock Purdy, Jalen Hurts 2.0 The game that nobody thought that would ever happen, two quarterbacks we never thought would ever play each other again. Hurts, obviously, we never thought he would be a decent starter. Purdy, nobody thought he would even make a roster. But now they're both here. Looking back on their game that they played against each other, I believe it was in the 2019. Yeah, because 2019 was the year that, yeah. So the 2019 season, Oklahoma won that 42-41. Brock Purdy, 19 for 30, 282 yards, 5 touchdown passes. Jalen Hurts, 18 for 26, 273 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. This was the year, I believe, as well, that Iowa State was ranked top 10 to start the year, ended up losing like 6 games.
Yep.
I mean, I don't think it's going to live up to that kind of game. It really wasn't. If you look at the box score, it really wasn't that good of a game. It was just Iowa State scored 20 points to Oklahoma 0 in the fourth. So, I mean, I don't know if it lives up to that kind of hype. Because, I mean, frankly, I'm just waiting for Brock Purdy to have a famous Brock Purdy game. Like, I'm just waiting for it because one of these, like, maybe it doesn't happen this year, and maybe he wins the Super Bowl.
Is it like me and Bo Nix?
Yeah,
is that? I'm just waiting for it.
It doesn't help. It doesn't help that my boss is a 49er fan, and I get to hear about it every week.
Oh no.
I will give him credit though. He did say even when Jimmy Garoppolo was healthy and Trey Lance was healthy, he said Brock Purdy was a good quarterback and he needs to stay on the roster. And I was like, Brock Purdy? What the hell are you talking about, Brock Purdy? And he was like, you need to stay on the roster. He looked good in preseason. I'm like, dude, his preseason doesn't matter. And I'm eating my words.
Apparently it does a little bit.
Apparently it matters. I'm eating my words right now. Brock Purdy is absolutely killing it. But we can move on to these picks. So offensive rookie of the year. The 3 candidates this year are Kenneth Walker III, Brock Purdy, of course, and then Garrett Wilson from the New York Jets. What do you think? Who do you think takes it, and what do you think about these guys?
Well, yeah, I really want to say Purdy. I mean, he's gotten his team to the NFC Championship game. He might even take them further, which has been done by a rookie quarterback before. But this guy didn't start the year. He was, like you had just said, they just kept him on the roster. And look how well he's worked out. He may not be putting up crazy numbers or anything like that, but he's winning games.
Who was the last rookie quarterback to get this far?
The last rookie quarterback to get this far. I know Roethlisberger won a Super Bowl.
Yes, and that was something I compared to a lot because I was like, yeah, Brock Purdy did this, but Ben Roethlisberger won 13. He won 13 straight, which is crazy. I don't think that'll ever get beaten. Obviously, Purdy can't have the luxury. Well, the luxury of starting, but
there's an argument to be made that Roethlisberger's team carried him there.
Yeah, and that's an argument that a lot of people make for Purdy here too, and I agree. Frankly, I think that every single starter, all 32 starters in the NFL right now, I think they would have success on this 49ers roster. Now, would they get as far as they are? Maybe. I think there's probably a handful, maybe 10, 15 quarterbacks that could probably get to and win a Super Bowl or get to this point in the conference title game with Brock Purdy. But their team is stacked. Their team is so good. And the fact that, getting Christian McCaffrey and all this, like, but I would be curious to know who the last rookie quarterback to get there would be. I can't even think of it. In my head, it might have been Big Ben. He might have been the last rookie quarterback to get to and win the
Could have
Super
been.
Bowl.
When did Mahomes do it?
He did it his sophomore or no, junior season.
His second year? Oh,
It was his
third season. Okay.
Yeah. He won the MVP in his
All right.
second year and lost to the Patriots. But
by the way,
what's up?
Nobody's watching right now.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine.
I just checked in it. Yeah.
Just get it for the video. It's all right.
Yeah, we're here.
For me, I think it's probably going to be Brock Purdy just because where he got, where he's at. Kenneth Walker had a great season. Crazy
Absolutely.
season. Very good season. And, I wasn't expecting it at all. Of course, Breece Hall got hurt, and I think Breece Hall would probably be in this conversation too if he didn't get injured.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's definitely between Walker and Purdy. Garrett Wilson had a great year too, but I just think Walker and Purdy separated themselves from the rest.
Definitely.
Moving on to Defensive Rookie of the Year, Aiden Hutchinson on there, Sauce Gardner, and Tarek Woolen. Tarek Woolen, I believe, was a fifth or sixth round pick. Another late rounder that's up for this list, and he was tied with I think 2 or 3 other guys for the most interceptions this season. I think he stands at 6 foot. I think he's 6'5", and he runs a 4.2 40, and he's a corner. It's absolutely ridiculous. But who do you think out of these guys is the most deserving?
Well, I'd have to go with Sauce Gardner. I mean, dude, he's got 75 combined tackles, 51 solo. Started all 17 games this year. 20 passes defended with 2 interceptions.
Yeah,
he's had a fantastic rookie season.
That was a stat that I was very surprised about because you look at Tarek Woolen, and he had I think he had 6 or 7 interceptions this year, and he had 3 forced fumbles. He had all these turnovers. But when you look at Sauce Gardner's Sauce Gardner's passes defended, he probably could have caught. Probably he at least could have caught 6 of those. I'm sure he probably could have caught 6 of those.
He didn't.
He didn't. But then you look at if he goes for the interception on some of those, they could have been big catches.
He's not going to defend it. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, let's give credit to Woolen though. Dude's a ball hawk.
Oh, he's incredible.
Yeah, dude's turnover machine.
He's a faster Richard Sherman, in my opinion. He's tall, he's big like Sherman. He absolute ball hawk. But
good lord, he's fast.
Yeah. He's insane. And then you're looking at Aiden Hutchinson too. 4 interceptions as a defensive end.
Mm-hmm.
He had
as
4
a DN, that's right.
Which is pretty crazy. He was actually he was kind of ball hawking out there. I believe it was the Christmas Day game where he was playing in coverage on the sideline and got the ball thrown right to him. It's pretty
let me see what we got here. Okay, so how many interceptions?
I think he had 4.
4. Okay. As a defensive end.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to compare him to a linebacker who's fantastic, and he kind of plays that end spot sometimes. TJ Watt, 2 interceptions. Now he was hurt half the season, but
I can see a lot of that TJ Watt I think he does play a lot of that kind of same position where he's an edge. He's your edge threat / he can play a little bit up back there into coverage. I see a lot of that. And then you looking at the Lions, man, they got a lot of upside if they can just put some things together. Hutchinson's great. For me, I think I'm probably going to go with Tarek Woolen. That's a little bit biased on my point on my side, just because of the Pacific Northwest. But that would be my pick for that. Super Bowl team predictions and the winner of the Super Bowl. Who you got?
As much as I don't like them, and as much as I know they'll find a way to lose it, I want the Bengals to go win this Super Bowl. I think Joe Burrow deserves it. He's been playing on fire this year. I mean, there's a reason why I had him on my fantasy team. Dude's out here balling.
I believe he would be the first national championship winning, Heisman Trophy winning quarterback to win a Super Bowl. I can't think of any other quarterback that has ever done that. So that would be pretty incredible. But who do you have him playing?
I've got him playing Brock Purdy and the Niners. That's going to be it's going to be just a mammoth of a task, because it really is. Because those Niners are stacked. But yeah, and that's kind of what I want. I want it to be a good game. I want it to be like back and forth. Do you remember? It's one of the best NFL games I ever watched. The Los Angeles Rams
and Chiefs.
Yeah. 54-51. Yeah. That's what I want the Super Bowl to be like.
Yeah, so I was talking to somebody about this and how I think that, the 49ers defense is so good that eventually I think we're going to have a game where they let up a lot of points, and it's going to be a barn burner, because I feel like we get that very often with really, if we have two teams that have really good defenses, sometimes they kind of let up and then the offenses go crazy. And I think that's something that we could see very easily either next week or either this weekend in the Eagles game or the week or 2 weeks after. Yeah, and I'm going to have to agree with you. I know that Patrick Mahomes is playing, and it's hard. Patrick Mahomes is like the Tom Brady now. It's hard to bet against the guy. It's hard to bet against the guy because he always just pulls something out of his, what.
My favorite, like, here's what I think of Patrick Mahomes, right? If Brett Favre was good. He makes crazy passes. I mean, for the longest time, he's got the weapons around him. He can do it. He can lay out. He can extend plays. He can still do it.
Yeah. He's extremely good, and it's hard to bet against the guy. It's hard to bet against the Chiefs, but I just think the Cincinnati Bengals are kind of a team of destiny. They're going to win at least one, I think, in the Burrow era. If not, they're going to turn into the 90s Buffalo Bills. They're going to go to 4 straight and lose 4 straight, which I could see it happening. But yeah, I do think they play the 49ers. I think it's going to be a really good game against them and the Eagles, but I just think the Niners are a little bit more experienced going there. And if you think about it, Brock Purdy and Jalen Hurts, they have the same amount of experience when it comes to playoff games. This will be they'll be in the same amount. Hurts went to one last year and lost, but he also got the bye week this year. So there's really no advantage when it comes to experience at the quarterback position. I think it's just going to come from the defensive line. You got the Bosa, Armstead, and that's part of my name saying you're welcome 49ers is I actually met Eric Armstead in the offseason and at the spring game and, got a picture with him and whatever. And I was telling my boss, I was like, that's why they're there, because I gave him all my powers at the meeting. I gave him all my powers. And actually the same day I met Bo Nix, gave him all my powers too. That's why he was so good this year. So I guess I'm just a good luck charm.
I'm pretty sure you shared those pictures and the Twitter. And
I did.
Our Twitter DM, and we got to see how short you were.
Yes. To be fair, Eric Armstead is a giant.
Yes, he is.
Bo Nix is not a giant. I'm just very short. But last but not least on the show, obviously a very quick show this week. Who do you believe will be drafted number one? Obviously everybody's like, pretty much like it's going to be Bryce Young is pretty much what everybody's saying. I've been seeing a few people saying that it could be Stroud at one. A few, like, he's been kind of being lifted up to be number one as well. A lot of people are still super high on Levis being up there.
Who's going to get the first pick?
It's Chicago. But that's a big question mark, because
I heard something about Indianapolis trading.
There was something about a few teams trying to move up because Chicago doesn't necessarily need a quarterback now that they know that Justin Fields can play. It doesn't suck. But I did see something that said that they may be planning on getting rid of Fields and then drafting Young at one. So never know. I think we pretty much can agree Bryce Young's probably going to be the number one overall pick. Is he going to be good? I have no idea. I think he's too small, in my opinion, but it's impossible to say that anymore because Brock Purdy is tiny and look what he's doing. So, you never know. As long as he's not going to the Texans, I'm happy because I'm done with dealing with the Texans. I hope they suck for a long time. Absolutely done with those guys. I don't need any more, I don't need any more Deshaun Watsons coming into my division and dominating it. Or I don't need any Andrew Lucks either, which is why I'm kind of scared because some people are saying that Will Levis is going to get drafted by the Colts.
Yeah, then you're going to have to worry about an athletic and just run all over you, throw the ball 80 yards kind of quarterback.
Yep.
That's going to be tough because I've seen Will Levis when he plays well.
Yeah, and that's why I want him. I want him in Tennessee, but I just don't think we're going to be able to get him. And I think we're probably going to try to get somebody else in the offseason, but I want Levis. I want to get Levis. I want to draft Jalen Hyatt in the second round, and I want to actually compete again. But
yeah.
Anyways.
We need to do one thing because Ryan's not here.
Okay.
Notre Dame sucks.
Notre Dame sucks. Broncos still suck. They're not getting Sean Payton. It's not going to happen. If they do get Sean Payton, he's just going to be a sad reminder of what he once was.
I'm
And
looking
also
forward.
on top of that, I know we're streaming on both Ryan and Connor's channels. Ravens suck too. Hate the Ravens.
Yeah, I mean they can. I mean
we
they
both
can't
hate the
even beat the
Ravens.
Steelers. Yeah, they
Can't
can't
beat
even
the
beat the Steelers.
Steelers.
Nope.
All this stuff. But anyways, all right, guys. This has been the Week 0 podcast.
Is this
probably
under
our
an hour?
shortest one ever. 40
By far the
minutes.
fastest?
Yeah, super quick.
Did I just lose you?
What just happened? Did I lose him? Is he gone or am I gone? I don't know what's going on. I can't tell. I think he's gone. Oh no. All right, guys. I gotta figure this out. Oh, I hear you now. Do you hear me?
Hello? I'm back? Am I
You're
back now?
You're back.
Jesus Christ.
All right, you're back just in time for the outro.
Oh,
All
excellent.
right.
Excellent. Hold on.
Sweet.
What was the last thing you heard me say?
I don't know. I don't
Crap.
even remember.
Yeah, I forgot myself.
Something about the Ravens. But
Oh.
this has been the Week 0 podcast. I'm your host this week, Lucas McKnight. My co-host to my right, no, left for you guys, right?
Left, right, no, right. It's I don't know. Whatever.
Josh Bryant. And we will see you guys next week, most likely. Peace out, everybody.